From what I'm learning about NDSU and what I've learned out of this article, their O-line is nothing to play with. They're not going to be slouch. They're good. They're a really solid team. Welcome back to the series, Colorado versus the Big 12. Oh, and I must say this. A lot of people don't understand that we have outside of conference games. So listen, what this series is about, Colorado's schedule. I'm going down the schedule and I'm giving you the teams that Colorado's going to be playing in the Big 12. It was just easier for me to say Colorado versus the Big 12. But obviously we have out of conference games like Nebraska, North Dakota, which is an FCS team. That means football championship subdivision. And we have Colorado State, which is not in our conference. I thought everybody would understand that, but everybody don't understand that, so it's okay. With that being said, guys, I'm giving you North Dakota. I'm not giving you the entire roster this time. I'm going to give you their elite players and compare that with our elite players, and then you can tell me or you can decide who got better. And guess what, man? North Dakota ain't nothing to joke with. If you didn't know, you're going to find out in this video right after Shador tells us who we all around here. Hey, Shador, who are we, man?
BWB. Bandwagon Buffs.
That's right. It's your man's Harry Billion. Please do me a favor and smash that subscribe button. Make sure to give me the thumbs up. And don't forget to hit that bell notification so that you can get the videos as soon as it uploads to YouTube. All right, family. So I got to go ahead and get into this video real quick. So that's all the business I got. You know what time it is. Let's work. All right, guys. So welcome back. And for those of you who are not familiar with our schedule, let me go ahead and give you the 2024 schedule as you're looking at it right here. Black and Gold Day. That's the spring game. That's going to be on April the 27th. The time has not been determined yet. We play North Dakota State on August the 31st. I skipped the line and I did Nebraska first, but we played them the second game. Obviously, they are our biggest rival. All right. And somebody said in the comments that how can Nebraska be your rival? They're not even in the same conference. They're still reeling from the time that we beat them in the 90s and we won that natty. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying? Colorado State, September the 14th. Our homecoming game, we switched it to Baylor, September 21st, because we think we stand a little better chance beating Baylor. Not that they're not good. We're not trying to disrespect them. If they feel disrespected, that's good. That means get your weight up, come play us, and come see. All right? Do what you got to do. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? We chose y'all. Deal with it. University of Central Florida, September 28th. We play Kansas State, October the 12th. We play Arizona, October 19th. Family weekend, we play Cincinnati, October 26th. Texas Tech, November the 9th. Utah, November 16th. I'm saying these kind of fast, so if I mess up the dates and I don't realize that I messed up the dates, please charge that to my head and not my heart. I mean well. I promise you. Kansas, November 23rd. We play Oklahoma State on a Friday, November 29th. And then we're hoping to be in that Big 12 championship game on December the 7th. Before we get into North Dakota State, I wanted to give you these power rankings. Obviously, this is the entire Big 12. We do not play every single team on this list from top to bottom, 1 to 16. Obviously, it's the Big 12. It's 16 teams, okay? If you look on here, Josh Pate ranked these teams, and he has us at number 10. If you go to my communities page, I wrote an article about this, and I also put the link to the video of him ranking the different programs or the different universities. I think he did a pretty good job. It's fair that he put Colorado at the number 10 spot. Once this season is over, we'll see who are the power players in the Big 12 because the Big 12 is wide open for anybody. I think Colorado's chances are pretty good. If you watch the video, he'll explain it to you. I'm showing you this because, again, I'm teaching you about the Big 12. How tough are these teams going to be? You need to understand with the programs. All right, guys, so that's enough of that. Let's get into North Dakota State. I'm getting this article from herosports.com. The writer is Sam Herder. Sam Herder put this up February the 13th, 2024. The disclaimer is pieces are moving in and out. If you're familiar with your team and I say a name and they're no longer there, please understand that until the season starts, names are going to come and they're going to go. If anybody left after this article, which is February the 13th, then obviously their name is going to be on this list and I will talk about them. So please understand how this type of video works, okay? So Sam says 5 2024 offseason questions for North Dakota State University football. If you bear with me, in these questions, we're going to learn a lot more about North Dakota State. As the 2024 FCS offseason marches on, Hero Sports will look at 5 questions for the 2023 quarterfinalists. Next up is North Dakota State. North Dakota State University finished 11-4 last year, losing 31-29 in double overtime at Montana in the semifinals. Here are 5 questions the Bison face entering 2024. 4. And for those of you who are not familiar with Bison, basically we're the Buffs, but we could have easily been the Bison. The Bison is the actual American name for buffalo. So basically we have the same mascot. They just named their Bison. We named ours Buffalo. I actually have a video about that and it's on my channel. Like I said, this is your premier channel for learning about Colorado football and NCAA football in general. Is the NDSU dynasty over? I didn't even know they had a dynasty, but we're about to find out. Let's go. Two things could be true. NDSU's dynasty is, subjectively speaking, over. Whew, okay. What was the dynasty and why is it over? But NDSU will probably win at least 2 more national titles in the next 5 years unless a route to the FBS opens up, which doesn't look likely for the foreseeable future. Or D1 football blows up and there's a complete restructuring, which we're inching closer to, but how that shakes out and when is anyone's guess. When exactly a dynasty starts and ends is subjective. 3 titles in 4 or 5 years seems like a fair perimeter. So South Dakota State isn't a dynasty yet with 2 in a row. And North Dakota State's dynasty of 9 titles from 2011 to 2021 is done. Wow. So the South is taking over like they did in hip hop. Okay, I see you. New York State, you better get it back from these Southerners, okay? With their Southern drag. Stop playing with me. Anyways, calm down, Harry B. This is football, okay? But again, a new string of national titles can begin, separate from the first dynasty. Okay, so it's like North Dakota is handling business in the FCS. That's basically what they're telling me, okay? The North had it from 2011 to 2021, and in the last 2 years, South Dakota State, it's taking over. The South is coming, baby. The South is taking over. UNC Greensboro, North Carolina, what it is, baby. UNC, what does this have to do with North Dakota and South Dakota? The South, man, the South. All right, let's go. The Bison have won just 1 national championship in the last 4 seasons. I say just relative to NDSU's level of expectations. Some FCS fans are longing for just 1 national championship in the last 4 seasons. Still, 1 title in 4 years is kind of wild to think about for the Bison, especially 2 off seasons ago after NDSU rolled Montana State in the championship when it looked like the Bison were finally off their tracks in the 2021 spring and most of the 2021 fall. The offseason topic was how was anything going to derail the Bison? Is NDSU bad for the FCS? Would it be better for the FCS if NDSU found its way to the FBS? At what point does the FCS playoffs become too stale for not only NDSU fans, but for fan bases around the FCS if NDSU just keeps on winning? Somebody get some money and put NDSU in the FBS, okay? If they keep winning like that, especially because they keep playing teams like Colorado, get them in the FBS, okay? NDSU's worst was better than some teams' best and still is. There was plenty of angst about the above questions entering 2022 until SDSU rose up and surpassed the Bison postseason-wise. Then Montana joined the party last season and surpassed the Bison on the field, knocking them out in the semifinals. It was the first time since 2016 that NDSU didn't reach a fall national title game. Right in time for Colorado. They're weakening, okay? Urkel has worn them down. Hey, Laura, I'm wearing you down, baby. Montana State had multiple chances in the second round to beat NDSU. If only one play goes differently on a few different occasions, our offseason conversations about the Bison and the Bobcats would be very different. Imagine the state of confusion or the upheaval if the Bison would have lost in the second round. But because they found a way to beat MSU, then rode a deer in headlights South Dakota team, and then nearly beat Montana in the semis, our preseason expectations for NDSU are very high. If that NDSU team can be that close to making another championship appearance, what's in store for a 2024 team that returns most of its heavy hitters? That's what I want to know, Herder. That's what I want to know, my guy. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it moving. It's not a flawless 2024 roster. Questions remain. The questions below are not nitpicky, as sometimes questions about past NDSU teams have been. However, there is a vibe around this team. The star players have stuck together through enticing FBS NIL offers and a thought-to-be controversial head coaching change. Sometimes these type of stories start to write themselves, and the story of the Bison making another title run in 2024 began last month when the transfer portal window closed. We'll see what the April window brings, but getting through the last window mostly unscathed is promising. Bring the juice, baby. Keep bringing me that juice. When you don't know about this team, these type of articles make it possible. Herder, I appreciate you writing it like it's poetry, baby. Let's keep going. What's our next question, Herder? How does the Pulaski era look? If I pronounce your coach's name incorrectly, guys, if it's Polish, I don't know, but go ahead and charge it to my head and not my heart. I mean well. Okay. The 2023 playoff run had to be mentally taxing on NDSU players. Unseated, NDSU won a slobber knocker at Montana State. And yes, guys, I had to look it up because obviously my Prince George's County public school education didn't do me that good, okay? What is slobber knocker? A match or contest that is particularly hard fought or physically aggressive. Also, a violent or severe blow, collision between players. Okay, I appreciate that. And if you didn't know that either, shh, don't tell nobody. You're welcome. Let's go back to the article. NDSU won a slobber knocker at Montana State in the second round, an overtime thriller thanks to a game-winning block PAT. A PAT is the point after the touchdown. The next week, NDSU dealt with the rumors of several key players being enticed to leave by FBS NIL offers. Nothing happened. And then NDSU walloped South Dakota on the road in the quarterfinals. Get some popcorn, guys. There's some drama going on. College football is not the same, guys. There's a lot of money going on right now. It's a career, baby. That's 4 years of getting $500,000 or $300,000 a year. I got a video coming for that too. And we might just do it live. Who knows? A day later, it was announced head coach Matt Entz was leaving after the season to take an assistant job at USC. That week, NDSU players dealt with the uncertainty of who the next head coach would be. There was a social media push from former and current players for offensive coordinator Tyler Rowe to be elevated. All right, guys, so I do these articles because you get to learn about the team. I hope you're learning a lot so far. They lose Matt Entz. The players stick together. There are gems that are being dropped about this team. I don't know about this team and the stuff that they go through. I can tell you about Colorado, but I can't really tell you about North Dakota State. That's why I do these articles. I'm learning a lot, and I hope that you're learning a lot. There were even threats that a mass exodus would happen if it wasn't Rowe. With no news of the next head coach yet, the Bison went to the state of Montana again and lost a double overtime instant classic in the semifinals. A day later, NDSU named Wyoming OC and former NDSU OC Tim Pulaski the next head coach. The first meeting between Pulaski and the players were reportedly tense. Some sources said Rowe's locker was cleared out when the players arrived. Rough waters appeared to be coming, and then nothing really happened. NDSU didn't lose any star players to the portal. Pulaski won his guys over in more meetings, and the high school signing class remained mostly intact. There was one awkward sequence when Rowe was retained as OC and elevated to associate head coach, and then he took the OC job at Tennessee State a couple of weeks later. That led to Pulaski hiring St. Thomas OC Jack Landry, who had accepted the North Dakota OC position a week before. Landry landed briefly at UND because the Fighting Hawks lost Danny Front to be SDSU's co-OC. Y'all think y'all got drama? Colorado has drama too, okay? We lost both OC and DC, and both of them had to be replaced, okay? So that's a lot of dramas on every single team. My goodness, boy. SDSU had to make OC moves because Zach Lujan took the same job at Northwestern, which led to a big offseason question for SDSU that still lingers. Are you guys picking up everything that's going on? The drama, the web of coaching moves that's going on? Y'all picking up what we're putting down over here? I hope you're keeping track, man. There's a lot of moving pieces. Out of all of that, Rowe is not at the university, okay? Rowe took the OC job at Tennessee State. They didn't want Rowe as their head coach. Rowe had to continue his journey to being a head coach at Tennessee State. So he's not there no more. He's gone. All of the students wanted to walk out because of that. They didn't walk out. They stayed. Pulaski hired Landry, who is St. Thomas's OC, Jack Landry. If you didn't follow that whole thing, Jack Landry is North Dakota State's OC. For some odd reason, SDSU, South Dakota State's OC, is no longer there. He's at Northwestern. They still got issues. Now, they're supposed to be the new Dynasty, but they don't have an OC. So who's their OC? Nobody knows. We ain't got to deal with that. We're Colorado. Let's keep moving. The off-season, man. But other than the road drama, non-drama, and then drama again, the early weeks of Pulaski's tenure has been smooth. If that's what you call smooth, Lord, welcome to Colorado. He'll truly be judged by how his team looks and performs on game days. The system and look to casual fans probably won't change much. Fundamentals, discipline, preparedness, in-game adjustments, handling big moments, recruiting and retaining. That's important. Recruiting and retaining is a big one. How you keep your core group together, that's crazy important. Coach Whispers, man, I hope you bring that pain, homie. Those are the things to watch for under Polasek and his staff, which is a mixture of returning Bison coaches and new assistants coming in. First question was, is the dynasty over? The second question was, how does the Polasek era look? That was the second question. Our third question, can the defense return to a championship level caliber? I hope not, because we got to play that defense. Please don't. Please, Polasek. Please put in some real bad policies. NDSU's defense was fine last year. It was solid, pretty good, above average by FCS standards. I don't know how you guys think about FCS standards versus FBS standards. If they are the standard in the FCS, that could mean some trouble for us. But that's FCS. It doesn't mean they can't play. It just means that FBS is just bigger and better. But it was far from the NDSU standard of the whole defense wins championships thing. Oh, that's right. I'll be thinking about Colorado's defense. The Bison were 18th in FCS scoring defense, 19.9, 24th against the pass, 186.1, 22nd against the run, 116.5, and were ranked in the 90s in PFF's tackling grades. So here are Colorado's numbers. It may not be exactly the way that it was presented by Herder, but Colorado points allowed per game in 2023, 35.91. Total yards allowed per game, they have 464.6 yards allowed per game. Passing yards allowed per game, 296.55 passing yards allowed per game. Running yards allowed per game was 168.1. Sacks, 27 sacks in 2023. Turnovers, 20 turnovers. I Googled until I couldn't Google anymore to find our grades. Didn't find them. Maybe it's some type of membership that you have to find it. Maybe you Google better than me. Drop it in the comments if you have those numbers for the Colorado Buffaloes, okay? The Bison return about 9 starters in 2024. The D-line should be very good, led by sacks leader Dylan Hendricks, plus Will and Eli Mustrat returning on the interior. Eli is a top-tier defensive tackle. The linebackers range from okay to pretty good in 2023. They all return and look to keep getting better. NDSU should be fine at corner. Safety play alongside All-American Cole Wisniewski could get a little better. It's a unit that would need to go from pretty good to really good if NDSU wants to wear the FCS crown again. All right, guys, we're getting real close. I hope you're learning a lot. Here's our fourth question. We got one more to go. How good can Cam Miller be? Got to read that a little slow because, you know what I'm saying, there's a little tongue twister there. Cam. Folks have different views of Cam Miller, not just FCS followers, but NDSU fans as well. How did Cam Miller do in 2023? If you didn't watch my other video, here it is for you. He's 6'1", 213 pounds, 2,687 yards, 19 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. When I went over the schedule and I showed you the different quarterbacks, in case you missed that video, here is Cam Miller again, so you can put a face to the name. Let's keep it moving. Some believe he's very good, and his overall stats, efficiency, PFF grades, and clutch plays that don't show up on the stat sheet back that up. That's right, you got to back that thing up. You understand what I'm saying? People in the other camp believe he's being a bit overrated by those in the first camp. That NDSU system is QB friendly, that he can't be SDSU, and they point to Miller's underwhelming performances in a handful of 2022 and 2023 games. Hey, listen, some people just can't get it done, okay? You can be as good in the regular season, but when it comes to playoff time and it comes to those big games, some people can't cut it. So it's understandable. This writer, who is Sam Herder, if you forgot, leans with the first camp. Miller elevated his play in 2023 and changed many minds, especially after a gutsy postseason. Doubters still remain, but there's a decent chance that those doubters are hanging on to some box scores instead of watching some of the plays, throws, and runs he made in big moments. You gotta close it out though. If you're losing in the semifinals and it's costing you games and you can't really win that big one, then it's kind of understandable why some of the people on the other side feel the way that they feel. This fall will be his 5th season of starting games. He started 2 in the 2021 spring. Miller and Eli Green would be among the top QB wide receiver duos in the FCS. Yeah, let's go ahead and look out for that Eli Green. This is the guy. Hey, listen, players, if you're watching this video, I want you to mark this guy down. Eli Green, all of the new players, all of the edge rushers, Travis Hunter, the new Cormani McLean. I want y'all to look for this guy. Watch his tape. Find a way to stop Eli Green. Let's not have a 5'11" sophomore who's a $185, all right, do us dirty like that Stanford 13, okay? We don't want to repeat that whole Stanford 13 again. So let me bring his face closer to y'all so y'all can see this is the guy we need to look out for, because if these two are going to give us a problem, I'm going to have a problem with that. You understand what I'm saying? Stop playing with me. If Miller can go from pretty good in 2022 to good in 2023 to great in 2024, then Colorado will have a problem. Okay, that's not what it says, but come on now. The Bison offense will be rolling. It's a unit that already was one of the hottest last fall, ranking number 3 nationally by averaging 38.1 points per game. All right, so number 4 was how good can Cam Miller be? We've learned a lot so far. Hopefully you're still with me. If you're still with me at this point in the video, put it in the comments. Say, Harry B, I'm still with you. I appreciate the information that you are bringing for us to learn more about NDSU. I appreciate you sticking with me. Let's finish this off strong like we're going to do in our 2024 season. Let's go. Who steps up on the O-line and as RB1? That's the running back 1. Let's find out right now. I'm excited for this one. NDSU finished 4th in FCS rushing offense, averaging 237.3 yards per game. It just had a different look and feel to it, though. There wasn't a game-changing running back, and the O-line, while great in pass protection, wasn't getting the same level of push in the run game for most of the regular season. Colorado barely ran the ball in 2023. We're hoping to run the ball in 2024, so there ain't nothing to see here for Colorado. Nothing to see here. Keep it moving. NDSU didn't have a running back surpass 100 rushing yards in a game until the 2nd round. For a good chunk of the season, the 2 most dangerous rushers were QBs Cam Miller and Cole Payton. Both returned in 2024. We got to look out for those names. You understand me? So basically what they're saying is that the quarterbacks were the best rushers last year. Cole Payton is 6'3", 230 pounds. So Cole, you might want to convert to a running back. You understand me? Now we got Shador and Ryan Stubb. Shador's a pocket quarterback. I like our chances with a healthy Shador. We found out that Ryan Stubb, he got his confidence in that last game. Nothing against Ryan Stubb, but we don't want to see him on the field if we don't have to. We want QB1, who is Shador, to be healthy because he will be highly ranked. Shador is coming in as one of the best quarterbacks in college football. We like our chances with him. If we can keep him upright and healthy, our chances are really good against Cam Miller and Cole Payton. They're returning their 2 guys. We're returning our 2 guys. Miller finished 2nd on the team with 629 yards. Payton was the 3rd with 615. So what they're saying is that they had to use, 3 quarterbacks to make this happen. If Miller was 2nd, Payton was 3rd. They pretty much had to use 3 quarterbacks to get this thing popping. At the end of the day, if we got a healthy Shador, these guys should not kill us like that. You know what I'm saying? Our defense will be ready for these boys. Both had a team high 13 rushing touchdowns. Wow, that's a lot, bruh. 13 touchdowns between those 2. If we get after them, we should be fine with them. Tamarick Williams, who has exhausted his eligibility, rushed for a team-high 767 yards, boosted by his 162-yard second-round performance. The Bison returned Baraka Kapinu 501 yards, 4 touchdowns, and TK Marshall 386 yards, 6 touchdowns. And if you don't know who Colorado got as far as the rushers, guys, we got Dylan Edwards, all right? He had over 300 yards. We didn't run the ball much, so there's not much to see here. We got Dylan Edwards. We got Alton McCaskill, who's going to be RB1, I believe. With a healthy Alto, I believe he could be running back number 1. We also have the fullback type, who is Savion Wilkinson. He could be a 3rd down or a 4th down type. If we're not throwing the ball in the red zone on 4th and 1 and stuff like that, if we're not doing silly stuff like that, I believe believe Savion could do that job. He can get us those 1 yards if we establish a run early in the season. For those guys to be effective and get those 1 yards that we need, we have to establish the run early in the season for our backs to be able to do what they do. But with our running back core, it looks like their running back cores have the yards because they ran the ball. We didn't run the ball on paper. As far as talent is concerned, I believe we got the better running backs room. NDSU's offensive line returns just 2 starters. That includes tackle Gray Zabel, a 2025 NFL draft prospect who was one of the Bison's players that had large NIL bags offered to him from P5 collectives. The Bison O-line is never really a concern, again, by FCS standards. NDSU is always going to be good up front, but it wasn't a Marlin unit in 2023 when compared to NDSU standards. It's a unit that faces starting 5 and depth question marks, questions relative to the elite line play needed to win a national title. Our O-line was obviously a question. Now we've replaced our O-line entirely. I strongly believe that we're going to have a very new starting lineup on that O-line. The guys that did pretty well in 2023 are going to be the backups, which is good because when they were good, they were really good. So that means that we have depth now. That means that we got guys who are willing to put in the work, who are dogs, who are hunters. We need hunters. We need guys that are hungry and that's going to go out there and get food. So if you want to eat, you got to hunt. When society first started, you couldn't eat if you didn't hunt. So if you was a lazy person, you was a lazy man, your family went without food or you went without food. So we need hunters. So I believe we got a whole new room on that O-line, and we got some hunters that are coming in. What it looks like as far as the talent pool, it looks like overall Colorado has the better talented front line. We got the Jordan Seaton, we got Justin Mayers. We have a lot of new guys that are going to fill that O-line, and based on what we're hearing from analysts and other people around the country like Josh Pate, we got the better talent when we line them up against NDSU. From what I'm learning about NDSU and what I've learned out of this article, their O-line is nothing to play with. They're not going to be slouch. They're good. They're a really solid team. Are they going to give us a problem? Yes, they're going to be very problematic for us, but we're not playing by FCS standards. We're playing by FBS standards. We're the big brothers. So that means we're going to come into this game. We got to establish our will. Got to establish our dominance over them. We got to let them know who's the boss from the gate. We can't let these quarterbacks come up in here and be running all over the place. We can't let their running backs get the ball and start rushing all over the place. We got to make sure that BJ Green get out there, get the ball. We got to make sure that the block bully, I don't like bullies, but make sure he bullies a few dudes on that field. Let them know, impose your will. We do what we're supposed to do. It looks like overall, our room, our talent got better. Even though they're returning their guys, we start with the number 1 guy, quarterback room. We got better there. If we look at the running backs room, it looks like we got better there. Now, if we look at the defense, the overall defense, we got the headache gang. I trust that Shiloh and the new guys that are coming in are going to handle business. I trust that our linebackers room, which is looking like Levante Bentley, BJ Green, the block bully, all of those guys are going to band together and they're really going to make sure that the offense don't outdo them. The headache gang is going to come up there. All of these guys are coming up with little catchy names to make sure that we get a cohesive group of guys that are locked in. So I believe our defensive core is a little better than their defensive core. The numbers that you're looking at are going to be better than our numbers overall because these guys are champions in the FCS. It's not anything to take lightly, but it's because they're champions and they do very well in that football championship subdivision based on the competition they're playing. They play at a very high level and their standards and expectations are very high. They are the top team to beat in the FCS if they're not facing their nemesis like Montana or their sister or brother in the South, where South Dakota State, if they're not facing one of those two teams, it seems like they're very elite in the FCS. We're not going to overlook them, but I feel like our defensive core, the talent that we were able to acquire in the offseason with Cormani McLean, Travis Hunter at corner, Travis Hunter being one of the best cornerbacks in the game. Cormani McLean is going to be a new Cormani McLean. He's coming in with some talent and he's coming in with more muscles, with a new mindset. If he locks in and he really put forward what he needs to do, everything that he's learned, and he's a better Cormani McLean, we get 2 lockdown corners, it's a wrap. And my guy Ron can stop making fun of me about the no-fly zone. That video is not even at 1,000 views, so I don't even know what happened to that video, okay? Nobody believed it. We got the 5-star Cormani McLean. We got the 5-star Travis Hunter. We got some new safeties. We got BJ Green. We got Cheto the block bully. He's going to be doing his thing. Overall, we're the better team, and I expect us to win. Let me hear your thoughts. Go ahead and put your thoughts in the comments. I hope you learn a lot from this video. I'm going to leave it right there, okay?